Folks, welcome to this episode of the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. Before we get into things, I do need to make note that I did forget to hit record on the camera for the entirety of this hour and 20-minute episode. I am so sorry. I am bummed. It's a good episode, such a good episode. But the audio is still here, and we are... I did remember to hit record for the Patreon, so we do have video on the Patreon. So if you want to hear the Q&A, head to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. But this main show after this will be audio only. Next week, I promise I won't forget to hit record, but this is just for this week. It's just audio only. And that's it. Please, I hope you enjoy the episode regardless. I do apologize. And that's
how the cookie crumbles.
That's that. All right, enjoy the episode. Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast, folks. Welcome back to the most controversial couple of wrestling hosts out there. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
What's going on, folks? Happy Tuesday or Wednesday, not sure. It's an early morning for us. We got a lot to talk about. We're covering a ton of stuff. I was telling Jimmy kind of off air. A lot of this is going to be less of... It wasn't the craziest week in wrestling. It's more so all the stuff that happened outside of wrestling we're going to talk about. We're talking about all the hot button issues and whatnot. And I don't know if you want to just talk about it or whatever, but the hottest button issue on Twitter for the past 24 hours has been Stache Club's own Jimmy from the Q here. Huh? You fucking mark.
Went to war last night. And I honestly... I'm kind of looking at you side eyes because I feel like you set me up for this war. I feel like you wanted me to go to war a little bit.
I wish I could take credit for being so strategic and being like, oh, I knew this would do numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
I promise you, hand on my heart, no setup.
So if you're not chronically online, I did a video, TikTok, Instagram, all YouTube short, all this jazz. Spear gauntlet. And I said quickly, because it's a short video, and I was prompted with a question of Jey Uso's spear or Bianca Belair's spear. And I said it immediately. I was like, hey, not too familiar with Bianca's spear. I know Jay's isn't the best, but Jay's known for the spear. I'm going to go Jay. Next up, and this is where shit hit the fan, Kairi Sane. Great wrestler. No disrespect to Kairi Sane.
Goat.
But to say that I'm like an expert in all Kairi Sane, not true. Jey Uso.
I don't know how many people are saying that.
Jey Uso spear or Kairi Sane spear. I said Jey Uso. Next question, and then the Wrestle Goblins, that's what I'm calling them.
The stands got you.
The stands got me, and I'm sorry, I'm not Mr. Stardom. I'm not Mr. Mae Young Classic. I'm not Mr. NXT Black and Gold when Shayna Baszler was the champion. I feel like Kairi hasn't done the spear too much, but hand up, I was wrong. Kairi's spear rocks, and it's a great spear. But the backlash that I received from this video was insane. It's not fun. It's not fun. And like usually I don't let that stuff get to me. I'm kind of like, I mean, all press is good press, engagement, whatever. But like to then be on my own, kind of scrolling through the X feed and seeing like people just like nonchalantly, without adding us or even talking to us, talking down and being so pretentious about their wrestling takes because they're experts on very niche wrestling and whatever. It was nuts. The Wrestle Goblins were in full force, and I'm enlisting. Stache Club faithful. Hey, if you don't want to enlist, I understand. It's a big responsibility.
I don't know. Okay.
We are going to war.
No, not me.
You're out of it?
I'm out.
I understand.
Leave me out.
Because for the first time, you've said...
I'm even nervous about you calling them Wrestle Goblins and then being like, hey, I'm sorry. Anyway, these Wrestle I'm out. Folks, if you want to come at us, leave me out of it.
Because you said a few times that like, oh, I got to take a break from Twitter. This is the first time since I've joined the show where I'm like, man, I might have to take a break from Twitter. I've been said I'm going to double down and enlist into the army. We're going to call it the... maybe the Jarmy, the Jimmy from the Q Army. That's pretty good. So if you have a better the Joe-lition, Q-lition, coalition.
Okay. So I think Jarmy so far takes it.
Whatever. I'm enlisting. If you want to join, let me know. We're going to war against these Stan accounts on Twitter. Let's go. Again, hand up, I was wrong. Kairi Sane spear is awesome, but
it's such a funny take to just be like, "Hey, my fault. Everyone else was wrong. Anyway, we're going to war. But honestly, my fault. Both these wrestle guys. It's so back and forth.
It's just crazy. You can't be a little bit wrong on the internet. It's crazy.
Well, welcome to the part of the show. It used to be a lot more of this, and I used to do it a lot. But welcome to the part of the show where most of the podcast is just me/us defending Twitter takes. I used to do it a lot more.
Yeah.
And I used to be a little more like, throwing stuff out there on Twitter.
Sure.
And then every podcast I would come on here and be like, no, this is what I meant. So
yeah, but shout out the Instagram comments, shout out the TikTok comments, a lot more tame, a lot more respectful about opinions, this and that. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Jeez, man. Evil people.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
So I'm filled with negativity in my veins. It's crazy. And even I told you off camera, I woke up yesterday morning and before I even kind of lifted an eyelid, I go in my brain, I'm like, I just don't get why so many people are loving Karrion Kross these days. Hey, my thing is I try to look at things from different perspectives and I try to get out of my own head, try to hit the internet and learn more. And then by chance, Karrion Kross dropped the part 2 of his Killer documentary. I think he's calling it.
Okay, so do you want to get into some Killer Kross stuff now?
I think so.
I was gonna save it and do a little pause so we're not too online starting out,
Okay.
but because this is gonna be a very chronically online podcast, especially because we're gonna also transition into talking about the Sami Zayn hate he's been getting.
I know, it's weird.
But okay, we can go right into Karrion Kross. It is the name I think of this episode, unless I come up with something different.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I kind of interrupted you. You were going on about Karrion there.
So I watched his documentary to try to understand a lot more of his aura or lore with the online
Understand
fans.
his aura.
Yeah, get what I'm trying to put the pieces of what I'm missing with this guy, and I watched it and it made me like him a lot more as a person.
He seems like a great person.
Yeah.
And a little bit of stuff I've seen, even like clips. I haven't seen the documentary in full, but clips from the documentary, even just little stuff at I've seen videos of him at card signings, him talking to fans. Very, very sweet, wholesome guy, 100%. Yep.
I think he has a mind for the business too.
Sure.
Still hard pressed to name one match of his that I've legitimately enjoyed. And I think he's a guy that might be when the bell rings type of guy. And that's just my opinion, my take, whatever. You can also combat that with he hasn't been given the opportunity, which I think is now a lame take now because he has been given the opportunity.
He did just have a match at WrestleMania. So yeah, SummerSlam, whatever, same
Sami
thing.
Zayn, but then
summer of WrestleMania.
As soon as that match ended the way it did, I saw the writing on the wall. And I'm like, this guy's gone. I even jokingly put out, Karrion Kross, you're all elite. And then don't say that because all elite fans do not want this guy, which I think is kind of silly on their part because I think he has a lot of momentum. But again, I know he's not the best in-ring wrestler per chance, but at the end of the day, though, there's a lot of discourse about this, and then we bleeding into Monday Night Raw with the "We Want Kross" movement or lack thereof.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet or a couple of tweets going into Raw. I was just like, I can't wait for Raw to be hijacked. We want Kross chants, and I think there was maybe a total. And I think this is even, I saw 3, maybe 2, but some people were saying there were 5 We Want Kross signs in the crowd.
One very up close to the ringside, which I'm like, okay, that makes me believe that this guy probably isn't going anywhere, which again, I'm not super, sad or too down on him possibly going somewhere else.
So let's just give some context because, for those that don't know, I'm sure everyone does know, but just kind of set it up. Over the past, Karrion Kross has been the hottest topic over the past handful of days. There is reports that he's been, moved to the alumni section, and there's been contract reports, and then reports that they did get to a deal, and they're not at a deal. So right now, the thought is, and also there were tweets put out by Karrion and Scarlett. Scarlett's tweets were kind of I've enjoyed my ride here. It's been fun.
Their shirts are on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Some extra stuff that I still think it might be a work though, but go ahead.
Karrion also tweeting out hey, also it's a good ride. Also put out the second part of the documentary like you were talking about, and also put his email for bookings and blah blah. And sure, we are in a very very look at the Seth Rollins injury, which this reminds me a lot of it, just in the sake of people being like, oh, it's a work or not. When the Seth Rollins injury happened, it seemed pretty legit. They're really blurring the lines between kayfabe and not. Becky Lynch's Instagram post and as much as some people don't want to admit it, I know there's some people that are like, oh, they didn't get me. Great, good for you. They got me, and I like admitting that. I'm not someone that's trying to not get worked. Worked isn't even a real thing to me. But anyway, this seems like another case of this has happened, and the internet is immediately skeptical, which I think, sure, I think is just because WWE has, through the Seth Rollins stuff and other things, WWE now doesn't have the trust of the audience, which is where they want to be, because now they can do anything,
absolutely,
and trick the audience. So now people are like, is it a work? There's conflicting reports or different rumors. So the thought, just kind of to catch up to what you were saying, is there's thoughts of it's a work that he got released. They're going to bring him back in a big way because WWE knows he has support, whether it's just online or not. WWE isn't stupid. They brought back R-Truth, which I don't think, to this day, I don't think that was a work. I think that was a pretty legitimate let go and then bringing him back. Who knows what the truth is? No pun intended, but it could be that could have been fully, quote unquote, a work. Who knows? This could be another instance of it. So it's really hard to tell these days, and WWE likes that, but that's just kind of get everyone up to speed of kind of what we're talking about in terms of kind of being untrustworthy and questioning is Karrion Kross. Is Karrion Kross's contract not being renewed, which I think is also important to say. He hasn't been released.
Yes.
His contract is just not renewed, which I think is a distinction we need to make. But is it a work? If it's a work, great. That's a lot of fun. Some would argue it's genius. I'm in the camp to kind of get back to what we were talking about. I don't know. I don't think it's a work. I said the same thing for R-Truth and Seth Rollins. I think he's legitimately let go. I mean, like, there's two sides of the coin where it's like, one, the writing has been on the wall where he's been losing. They aren't doing with so much stuff with him, and you think with all the support they'd be doing stuff with him, blah, blah. So let him go if they're not using him. However, he did just have a match on SummerSlam. Yes, he did lose, but he did just have a match at SummerSlam. He's been on TV. He has support. Like, he obviously has fans, so it doesn't make sense.
They did mention him by name last night, very briefly.
Oh, did they?
Just to say, like, Sami beat Kross at SummerSlam, just kind of mentioning that. Okay. So it's not the end of the world. He also just had a book released, which is forwarded, I think is the correct terminology, by Drew McIntyre. And they also promoted that book, not heavily, but enough to be like, I wouldn't see them doing this for just about any guy that's about to not get their contract renewed. And then I think what you said too about the whole, he's not released, it was his contract not being renewed. I think they're really playing on the reality of that situation. Just like, I think it's very similar to R-Truth, where I think his contract wasn't renewed and they saw the backlash and they're like, let's redo this and make it an angle. Which we got to talk about that later. The SmackDown part with John Cena. Oof.
SmackDown part with John Cena, huh?
R-Truth's interaction with John Cena.
We'll talk about it. I think we have pretty different opinions on it.
Yeah, I think so. And then, with Kross, though, it's like if his contract isn't renewed and you kind of look at avenues of like, where is he going? Well, guess what? WWE is, very much in partnership with Karrion's former company, TNA, or even AAA. So I think, and then also too, the signs last night, and I think, there's reason to not be such a, hardo about Karrion Kross signs if you're WWE, but like the fact that there was one front row and they didn't do anything about it, and that was very viewable through the entire show, is actually very similar to, like, I think when the Truth stuff was going on, I think it was Money in the Bank. When did Truth come back? I think it was Money in the Bank. Regardless, when he came back and attacked Cena, there was like a Truth sign right front and center. And I'm like, through the whole show. And that made me kind of point to like, maybe Truth is going to come back. Because otherwise, I feel like in past scenarios, CM Punk years ago, like they would be very much doing their best to try to prevent any reminders or whatever. So I think we're going to see Karrion come back one way or another. And then that comeback will then also mean a lot to, given, again, chronically online, but on your stream last night, someone said, "Oh, Canada wasn't Karrion Kross territory," so there wasn't much at all from my TV viewing, any kind of really Karrion Kross chance last night, which is kind of surprising given how much online support he had.
It wasn't surprising me in the slightest.
I knew there was going to be. We'll see when we go to Albuquerque, New Mexico or Kentucky.
Karrion Kross land, as they call it.
Karrion Kross land. So we'll see if that is true or if that was a joke or whatever. But
so that's the point. The further point is obviously a big push online. Hashtag We Want Kross, and everyone's like, it's going to hijack the show. The question I wanted to pose is, and there's always a discussion, and I'm always having this back and forth between real life internet wrestling fans. Is the internet real life? I think most oftentimes it's not. However, a lot of people, everyone is online now. So I think there is like a blurred line to say like there is a total difference between like internet fans and not internet fans, where I think it's way more combined. But my point being is the Karrion Kross fandom all online? And being online, first of all, to preface this episode's, like I said, this episode's gonna be a very chronically online episode where I've been seeing the tides turn, right? First, forever ago, people didn't give a shit about Karrion Kross. Then, because people didn't give a shit about Karrion Kross, that was the guy of the month for the internet. And the internet always has that guy of like, this is who we're going to champion. We are choosing this guy just because right now it's based on he's currently not in the main event. So we want to be part of the show. So we're going to be like, wait, no, we want this guy. And then they're going to champion. And it could have been anyone. It just so happened it was Karrion Kross.
And a testament, though, for Kross to generate that buzz with his kind of shoot promos, which actually the iconic one he mentioned in the documentary yesterday, that was a complete work. He actually made sure, like, after he did that whole, I think it was with Sam Roberts.
Yeah. It was a good one.
It was a really good promo, and it got, obviously, a lot of people talking and a lot of people behind him. But he then made sure, like, to tell everyone, like, yo, I'm actually really happy here. That was a work, this and that. I'm just trying to generate buzz, as you do.
Well, that's also the discussion, and I hate to bring it to this, but it's fair, and I want to get back to like the online thing. But and I was kind of thinking about it and going to mention it when I was talking about like and why this might be a work is, hey, Karrion was just on SummerSlam, right? To a lot of these people, and I think I mentioned this in like a past couple of episodes, where like to a lot of these wrestlers, a wrestling job is viewed, I think, very differently from a wrestler's perspective to a person online's perspective, right? Where I think I'm sure everyone who's in the WWE wants to be world champion, right? Everyone wants to main event something. Everyone wants to whatever. Everyone has these childhood dreams and what have you. But I don't think it's shocking. Look at a Gunther, for example. And again, whether this could also be me getting quote unquote worked and in character, but he just had some interview where he was like, oh yeah, like he's kind of like the Jokic of wrestling, where there was some fucking interview where he was like, oh yeah, I like cooking. He was like, I don't really like, I forget what he said exactly. I'm butchering this, but he was like, yeah, I wrestling's a job. Like I want to come home and be cooking and like be, watching the horse races. Oh wait, that's Jokic. But you know what I mean?
I can see Gunther at the track though too. So I hear what you're saying. Other hobbies.
He did have something where he just kind of alluded to of like, he didn't say I don't like wrestling, but it was something to the point of like, oh, this is now a job and whatever. My point is sure, I'm sure everyone has that, like, oh, I want to be world champion, and everyone's working, up the ladder or whatever. But at the end of the day, this is also a job where these wins and losses, I don't think mean anything to these real life people. Oh, God, it means everything to the people online. It means everything to us on a podcast. But Karrion Kross was just on the second biggest PLE of the year.
Yes.
That's a win in the career.
That's a win for sure.
Even if he got squashed, he made it. You know how many people didn't make it on that show? A lot of people. You know who did make it on the show? The person that the internet is claiming that WWE isn't giving light to. If that was true, he wouldn't have been on SummerSlam.
I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean?
But there is a point of like I totally agree with the wins and losses to these professional wrestlers that look at this as a job doesn't actually matter. But even he mentioned in the documentary yesterday, protect the motherfucker, which they did not. They did not. That angle, the way that match ended at SummerSlam.
Wait, in the sake of like explain on that.
Of like, so protecting yourself. So you can take as many losses as you can, but if you take a loss by, dude, like the ending of SummerSlam, which was, Karrion trying to get Sami to turn the dark side. Scarlett gives Sami the pipe. Sami goes, no, I'm all set. I don't want the pipe. And then turns around. Oh, boom, Blue Thunder Bomb. See ya, Karrion Kross. You lose. Like, oh, That's not protecting a wrestler whatsoever. That makes him look like, a little too small, like,
Sure.
and like, and also to lose like in that way to the quote unquote ultimate underdog is a bad look if you're trying to be an imposing character and to move forward in your career.
Yeah, and I guess not to undermine. So like I said, I do think that like, wrestlers do want, as much as I'm kind of just saying like, oh, it's a job or whatever. Like I do, like obviously I think yeah, I want to make sure I'm also coming across like, oh, I understand like these wrestlers, look like a CM Punk or like whoever. Like I do believe that they are also like, no, like this is my character, this is my livelihood. I want to be booked strong, and I'm sure like them getting booked weak will negatively affect real life stuff. Maybe them not getting on the card as much, whatever. So yeah, no, I fully agree with that, and there is like a balance I think that they have of just like, hey, like, this is a job and I'm on a PLE and that's a win for my career. But also, if I want my career to keep progressing, I need these things to happen to my character because that affects real life stuff. So like, I do agree.
Even if Karrion were to lose that match with Sami then turning to the dark side, that would have been a win for Karrion.
Sure.
So, but that's a point of like, yeah, wins, losses, and then the way you lose, I think matters. But
which you could even say that. I mean, I think it's kind of what you're saying too. Is like that loss was like the first writing on the wall of ooh, I don't know if Kairi. You know what I mean?
I was alive, and my immediate reaction was like, oh, that guy's gone.
Yeah.
See ya. Which now I kind of will be in the stance of like, I don't think he's gone. Maybe that was kind of purposeful booking in the sense of like, oh, let's fire up these internet marks and get them really going, and then also the actual reality of the situation is that his contract is coming up. Let's play into that. I mean, it's very similar to, not similar, but kind of an ode to a little bit of like the whole Summer of Punk situation where CM Punk was about to leave, and they played into his real life contract negotiations. So.
Yeah, I want to just circle back again, just talking about the internet, and then I want to get into Sami Zayn. It's kind of like in the same stuff, but yeah, I guess I don't know if I had many points to it. I think my overall points go back to like the internet stuff and the We Want Kross is, it was interesting to then kind of see that contrast last night of the lack of We Want Kross chants versus the internet, and how the internet all of a sudden went from we don't care about Kross, now he's our guy because he's just the chosen one, to now it's like split. And I get like, not every account is the same, and I'm kind of generalizing, but now I'm seeing like also a big majority being like, wait, since when did we like Kross? Since when? And it's like, you did. Yes. What are you talking about? A week ago. And I get like, I'm not, everyone's different and there's different accounts and like, whatever. Of course, yes. But, and I know I'm aware I'm generalizing, but just looking at Twitter as in a vortex, as we use the term vortex, we're going to get into, it is just like, so no one's on the same fucking page. There's different hive minds everywhere, and it feels like one collective thing, and then it's not, because all of a sudden people loved him, and now I think what it is too is like people need to seem smart and people need to seem right. So if Karrion is no longer, if that online push wasn't successful, people can't handle failure, so they have to get on the right side and be like, hey, these idiots like Karrion Kross. And here's the thing, I'm not really, I whatever, I'm not in that group. It's shocking how much I've had to care about Karrion Kross. And
really, what, the 10-15 minutes deep in this conversation?
And I'm like,
crazy.
I'm not even saying that of like, oh, screw that guy or whatever. Like I am, when I say things like that, and I hate that I always have to preface it, and I'm sure at this point I don't even need to, but when I say I don't care about Karrion Kross, I am talking about the character I am presented with on TV. I haven't connected with his character. There's nothing that, like, on TV, he just isn't my favorite. And people have favorites and not favorites. Now, what we were saying at the beginning, love the guy. Love the person that plays the character. I want the best for him. I think he deserves the world. He's super wholesome. I do want to watch his documentaries. Not the world, but but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
He deserves good things. So when I say I don't care about him, I don't mean I don't care about the person. But yeah, it has just been interesting to see just now that the tide shifting of now half the internet is like, oh, like we hate Kross, and like just because they got proven wrong or they're not successful, now they have to be like, just, I don't know.
What are your thoughts, though? This is not internet, but like
Thank
the
God.
SummerSlam post show, which was Triple H toting the success of SummerSlam, and then the crowd there. Again, a very small sample size of passionate wrestling fans, but they were chanting, "We want Kross," and then Triple H tried to sell like, "Oh, you want Brock? You got Brock." And
he did. I didn't
see that?
I saw maybe a clip online. I don't think I clicked on it, but I saw it was going on.
And he for the post show, Triple H talked about almost every match besides the Kross Sami match. Again, I'm kind of
could be playing into it.
I think playing into it
at this point. I don't know, and I like that. I like and I don't like how much like. Here's the thing. I like that lines are blurred. I like that we're getting tricked. I like that we're getting quote unquote work because that's what I want in my wrestling. I want to be surprised. I want to be like, whoa. I kind of don't love how much like. It's like the internet is involved. Like, I want my wrestling to just be on the wrestling TV show. I want the storylines to be fake, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much I love of just like them now getting so deep into like real life injury stuff and tricking the internet and Instagram posts, and like I get it all feeds into it, and it is cool that now there isn't like if you just go to the internet, you get the truth. Like now, if you go to the internet, you're probably still you're still in the show. And I hate to like, not that I'm like a Triple H, 2025 like guy necessarily, but it kind of just goes back to him just being like, you enjoying the show? Because now it's everywhere.
Everything.
You can't escape it. I think that's what WWE wants, what WWE likes, which is great. However, I don't love that like when I get on Twitter or like Instagram or whatever, I'm also having to play on just like, oh, now I'm seeing content that's strictly on Twitter. That's also like playing into stuff. I don't know. It's cool when it's not, but right now it's getting to a point where it's a little bit like, can we just get back to like what's happening on the TV show? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority of that. Maybe I'm complaining about something that's cool, but I don't know.
And then what made my eyeballs fall out of my sockets was the praise that Kross got from Paul Heyman on Ariel Helwani's podcast of like, comparing him to Steve Austin. Which
really? I didn't see that.
The same momentum. He's like, the same momentum. I can see it right now. The same momentum. And like, I was like, Paul Heyman's kind of getting wacky with some of these takes that he has these days. But I still respect the man's, mind for the business.
From what I saw, I think Paul was kind of digging the elbow in that interview a little bit. I think so.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But okay, that's all. Yes, we're 25 minutes in the episode.
Kross is right.
I guess Kross was right. Before we move on, with all that said, as funny as it is to say 20 minutes on this subject, I don't care. I don't care, and whether that's true or not, I don't care what happens to Karrion Kross. If he pops up again, I think he'll be on TNA, is my guess. He'll come back on TNA, be the world champion there. That's great.
I'll tell you this one thing. Again, I'm kind of someone that can definitely get behind a wrestler that necessarily isn't the best technical wrestler. I'm someone that is
love LA Knight.
I love LA Knight.
I'm kidding.
I'm very character driven, and I think promos, entrances, a lot of the extra stuff can definitely win me over and kind of make me understand that like, it's a theatrical show and not necessarily 100% the sport of it.
What's the new meme where it's like, forget your 60-minute class, your 5-star, Big
meaty man slapping me, of course.
Sure.
PD, but like with Karrion, again, I'm going back to the documentary because it's fresh in my mind, but like he did mention that like there was a potential like Bray Wyatt faction idea with him and the Righteous, and I like the Righteous. I remember I think they were in AEW for a bit. I'm like, these guys have a cool fucking kind of cool look. They look like the cult from the Leftovers. Which shout out the Leftovers, anyone that watched the Leftovers, all dressed in white and just kind of a cult thing. And like I'm blanking on the blokes' names individually in that the tag team of the Righteous, but like maybe Kross and the Righteous can maybe pull something together. I don't know. I mean, like he already had a chance though with the faction that he was kind of like the fourth most interesting guy in it. So I don't know. Again, I think he has been given opportunities, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of right there with you where I don't care about Karrion Kross.
And I'll be happy for whatever. If it ends up being a work and he comes back, great.
Hell yeah.
If his contract's actually up, it's like, oh, I see that from WWE's side. Go to WWE Light and go to TNA, and you know what I mean. So I don't know,
because the docs already had like 1 million views, which like, hey, that's not easy to do.
The docs have been killing it. Yeah, he obviously does have support. Like I hope I'm not downplaying. Like he does have genuine support. But I don't know. All right, let's move on. Well, let's move on to more just internet talk, where we are gonna chat about. What am I? Sorry, 20. taking notes and timestamps.
Hell yeah.
Sami Zayn. In the same internet ecosystem, Sami Zayn's been getting a lot of hate online. I think I talked about it briefly in a Yays and Booze episode where, it goes back to what I was saying with the tides on the internet, where 1 week he's the internet darling, he's the ultimate underdog, we love him. Sami Zayn was getting the same treatment. Look back at around the time of Elimination Chamber, him versus Roman. He was getting the same treatment of he should win, he should be the world title, he should be the world champion, push him to the top, I think his in-ring, he maybe speaks a little more to that push.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, yes.
But my point is he was that for a while, that internet darling, and then all of a sudden he's getting called Sammy Hogan, and then he's getting called, which I do understand. The Sammy Hogan stuff is bullshit, but
crazy.
I do understand people getting maybe sick of his character, where he is the ultimate underdog, and that's his stance in every single match, is being the underdog, and he does win a lot. He does win the big one. He has won the big one. He hasn't won the world title, but he beat Gunther at Mania. He was getting wins on Raw over champions and mid-card champions.
And did the longest reigning tag team title reign of all time with his best buddy at WrestleMania as well.
Sure. So I do fully agree if people just want to be like, oh, he's maybe not the ultimate underdog anymore. I kind of get where you're coming from on that.
Yes.
But I just don't think that's enough to be fully just fuck Sammy,
Crazy.
to totally turn on him. I don't know. I'm curious where you're at on that.
It's very strange, and I think it has to do with him, being in a rivalry with Karrion Kross, who has all this internet support. So it's kind of the turning of the tides a little bit, where it's like, oh, this guy's kind of getting in the way of something that we want, so we're gonna start putting out this discourse of this guy Sammy Hogan, this guy who is the ultimate underdog, but always wins. It's just a month ago where I had the hot take of I don't want Sami Zayn to ever win the world championship, but that was with love. That was with I respect Sami, and I think he has a case to be the greatest ever to never win the world title. That wasn't oh, I'm tired of Sami Zayn.
That was through the lens of him actually being the underdog.
Yes,
or whatever.
Absolutely, aiding to his character of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I also am with you where I kind of agree and see that he isn't the ultimate underdog anymore. So you've become what you hate. You're the New York Yankees. that whole spiel. So I still immensely enjoy Sami Zayn's work. I think he could maybe use a refresher of his character. I think maybe they kind of dropped the ball a little bit of him not using that pipe at SummerSlam, because I think that would have gotten a great reaction. We talk about, I was kind of forecasting big time about double turn of Cody and Cena. A double turn of Kross and Sammy would have been, I think, kind of compelling television. And I think would have made sense to the storyline and the support of the quote unquote fans a bit.
You kind of lead into it, lead into the Sammy hate, lead into the if Karrion's getting all this love, turn him face and whatever.
But then you go to last night, and he was in his hometown, but uproar of support and love from Sami Zayn. So again, it goes back to online versus the reality of the people in the building, because given it's kind of the building on steroids because they're in Canada, and Canada loves Sami Zayn, can't blame you, but it's at the same time it is silly.
Let's move on. Let's get off the internet a little bit.
Let's do it.
Let's go to John Cena versus Logan Paul is the match at Clash in Paris. What flavor are we rocking?
We're going with Blue Chill.
Hell yeah. Wow, it's got a pungent smell to it, huh?
You smell it? I'm sorry.
Wow. No, it's not good.
Very delicious. Very delicious.
How do we feel about Cena Logan? Again, it's been a controversial week for decisions over at WWE. I guess for a multitude of reasons, but
we're going to get on this podcast for the next, 2 to 3 weeks, shit on this match, then watch the match and be like, that kind of fucking rocked a little bit, huh?
Well, hey, listen.
I think it's a theme with Logan Paul a little bit. Again, don't love the guy too much personally. I will drink your drink. It's delicious, but you do kind of suck. But that's the thing about Logan Paul. He's an actual real-life heel, and I do appreciate about them. He's also very talented. So
it is crazy how, I am now, defending Logan Paul. Couple things. One, like you were saying, we shit on this match for 2 weeks, and then the Jelly Roll match happens, and we're I was shit. Which, granted, I take the case still of Jelly Roll could have been a top 5 wrestler in the world. I don't care. I still don't care. Yep. It's like it does. I just didn't care about. It's like wrestling. It's character. It's involvement. It's whatever. Point being, is we did leave that Jelly Roll Logan whatever match being that was one of the better matches at SummerSlam,
And
or at least on night one, right? Yeah,
that was night one. And importantly, I think the right team won too. So
sure,
like, shout out Jelly Roll in that aspect.
Jelly Roll didn't take the dub.
Yeah.
So yeah, and here's the thing, I'm not even really coming from this match shitting on the in-ring quality. Logan, I think, is a very talented wrestler. It is just like a little note that doesn't really have anything to do with this, but again, it is crazy, and it's why I like talking to. I have a couple friends who like pseudo like wrestling. My buddy Steve he texted me during SummerSlam because he was like he never watched as a kid, but like everyone loves John Cena, everyone loves like The Rock and shit. He
Global
thought The Rock
superstar.
was gonna come out.
Yeah.
He texted me. He watched a little SummerSlam. He texted me. He was like, I think I fucking like wrestling. Like I think I'm gonna get it. I've watched a couple stuff with him. I watched The Undertaker. I think it was when he retired first. I think it was against Roman Reigns at whatever WrestleMania that was, and he like put his hat in the ring and left the boots or whatever the fuck he did. And my buddy Steve didn't get it, and he like kind of starts laughing. And me and like my other buddy who are watching it are like nearly in tears watching him retire. And then like my buddy Steve like doesn't watch. He's like, what the hell? He forgot his hat.
Why is he getting naked?
And my buddy Dan is also like, he doesn't follow it weekly, but like he's like into it. He'll watch clips I post, whatever. My point is almost every new person I talk about wrestling or someone who's not super into it, they bring up Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And every single time they go, hey, is Logan Paul good? Like, is Logan Paul any good? And or how do you feel about Logan Paul? Whatever. And every single time I go like, hey, listen. Don't necessarily love the guy, which I'm even getting to the point with Logan, which I'm saying this as someone who doesn't consume any Logan Paul content. I don't watch his podcast. I don't watch his whatever. So I don't really know who he is as a person in 2025 necessarily outside the ring, but it does seem like there's been a lot of growth since his early days. I'm sure he still does dumb stuff. He's still like, the you go to Lunchley stuff, or I think there was even like stuff about crypto, he might have gotten involved. So like there's still like stuff that is still like shitty. So like, I'm not fully like saying whatever, but I do recognize I think there's been growth and maturity since to what varying degree. That's up for everyone else to decide. And I don't even know the answer to that. But my point is I am now defending Logan Paul as a wrestler to be like, hey, he's good. And people are, I think I said it in a clip I posted where he's one of the best promos in the company. I don't know if I don't know where you were on that.
And a real heel.
He is one of the he's a real heel. It's something we don't get nowadays. Like, and it's crazy to say, but Dominic Mysterio and Logan Paul are two of the top heels in the company because they are such old school wrestling. I know it's crazy to say about Logan Paul. Maybe not necessarily in ring. I think Logan Paul is very solid in ring. He's not one of the best, but he's very, very solid and he's better than a lot of people.
I think a testament to them is they keep their character kind of post-show.
Yes.
Like, Dom doesn't do a bunch of, like, happy-go-lucky stuff after. He's still kind of in that character. And then Logan's kind of himself, which people hate.
Naturally kind of a dick.
Right.
But yeah, it is funny how I'm naturally always defending, like, well, hey, he's good in the ring. He's talented. He's on the mic.
And he always gets the Twitter, Instagram moment of, like, him versus Ricochet, the colliding, him versus Roman, him on top of Jelly Roll. Honestly, the creativeness of the drone shots and this and that. Like,
it's cool.
It's that meme of, like, I think from The Onion where it's like the worst person just made a point, and like, dude, like, it kind of rocks. Given though I do share the sentiment of a lot of people of like, we only have like 4 or 5 John Cena matches
so
left.
That's why. Yep, I'm glad. Because I want to bring this all the way back around to John Cena versus Logan. With all that said,
yes,
I am also in the camp of I don't know if we should be using a John Cena match on Logan Paul. You know what I mean? I think it'll be all that was to say, like, at Clash, it'll be a fine match.
Yes.
It'll be, we saw, I agree with, I think part of what made the John Cena Cody Rhodes match at 41 bad is because John Cena was working in a heel fashion. We saw him, and granted, I think they both went out there at SummerSlam, was like, we're gonna blow the roof off this place, have a 5-star match because people thought we fucking can't. Yeah, we fucking can. Even in the ring, John Cena just being like, I started seeing clips after SummerSlam of like people kind of reading lips and Cena just being a Cody, be like, you beat me. That's all I got. Like that was my best. Which is I'm at
chills.
But point being is not that I think John Cena is going to pull out that for a Logan Paul match in Paris. But it'll be a fine match. But to your point, and it's the greater discussion here, is I don't, regardless of how fine or okay or good the match is going to be,
or sense too, because you got
the
biggest face of all time. First, again, I think the company's biggest male heel.
Sure, on paper, fine. But I agree with you where I would have rather. It looks like they're saving Brock till, I'd imagine, Crown Jewel.
Something that makes sense.
Crown Jewel or Survivor Series, but Survivor Series is pretty far out at this point. So I'd imagine Crown Jewel. And I was hoping we were getting like an AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles at Paris, I think, was the move. Not just like a backseat booker here, but I think there were a lot of other options. And I think at this point, people's worry, and I agree with this worry, is we only have 11 dates left. Only maybe, 3, 4, 5, probably not 5. Those are going to be matches. One of those are Logan Paul. We're running out of matches for there to be AJ Styles, Braun Breaker, Gunther, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so where are you at on the Logan Paul getting one?
So it's like, again, what we said, we kind of praised Logan a bit, and then we also made sense of like, this will be a fine match. This makes sense. Face versus heel, classic. And I think too, I put out there a fantasy booking of Cena's next 4 matches, whatever, on these PLEs, and I got a lot of kickback from that. And I think a lot of the criticism was like, oh, why isn't he putting over young guys? Why isn't he going against young guys? Logan Paul is pretty young. I think he's going to be part of this business for a long time. But what also bothers me, though, is he just kind of got a John Cena rub in this John Cena's last year retirement tour.
He tagged with him.
He tagged with him. And I think that was kind of enough for Logan to be like, I got that with John Cena. Again, it wasn't against John Cena, but him getting that tag team match against John Cena was enough of me getting John Cena, Logan Paul wrestling content.
I agree.
So that's like kind of where I'm at. But again, I think this match will rule. I think... and again, I get the AJ Styles want. I mean, the John Cena listed him as one of his wrestling soulmates. But at this point in storyline and in what they're doing on the product, AJ's a veteran face, and John Cena just turned face. So I don't see how they get there with that, especially with John Cena with no title. Maybe AJ should have beat Dom for the IC title, and John Cena could have went for that to go for the Grand Slam maybe. But I kind of don't see where you get that AJ for Cena.
See, but I think because like what's the premise on Logan Cena? Just face versus heel.
Just face versus
you know
heel.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So I think coming out of the SummerSlam match, and now that Cena's lost the title, now I think you can just fully go into Cena being like, let's have a run, let's have a career. And I think for a lot of people, you could have, because granted, we did get Orton, Punk with the face versus heel. I think that was a big point of turning him heel.
Yeah.
But I think now at this point, especially with an AJ who's just like also a veteran, I think you can do a like, let's run it back. Handshake, face versus face. Let's just have a for old time's sake match.
Yeah,
you know
I'm not opposed to that. I'm more so playing a little bit of devil's advocate, and kind of like, but also, I would not use a Logan Paul one-on-one match with John Cena as one of his last 4 or 5 matches, which, but then we got the surprise tag match on SmackDown, which was, not the best, but surprising that we got a John Cena match on SmackDown.
I was, on paper, I was pretty hyped. Like, like impromptu John Cena tag match. Granted, I think it was in the ring for all of maybe like 3 minutes.
Awesome hot tag, but
big hot tag.
Another DQ.
So which granted, I am glad we are at least getting him in the ring for these dates, but of the 11 or maybe it's now 10, because I don't know if SmackDown was the 11th or 12th. I can't imagine we're getting to. I mean, what do we have? Survivor Series, Crown Jewel, Clash. Those are already 3. I think. Oh, and then 4th will be what everyone's hoping for, Saturday Night's Main Event in Boston. So there's 4. I could see maybe sneaking in one more on a SmackDown or a Raw, like in a similar sense.
There's a Raw in Springfield, and I think Melo's on SmackDown though. Forget it.
I don't think as of now, I don't think Cena's on that. Just strictly through. I mean, anything could fucking change, but I don't think Cena's on that show.
I think it was advertised.
Oh, wait a minute, you're right.
Because I'm going to Raw. I'm going to SmackDown this Friday in Boston, and he's not going to be there.
Right,
which
that's
sucks.
what I'm thinking of.
Also not going to be there, I think, is Cody, which like whoa.
Really?
And then
which like whoa.
I'm not clamoring for it, but like the lack of star power with Cena and Cody not there. I don't think we're getting Brock. I just like. I'm taking my nephew to his first ever wrestling show, and not to say I'm not hyped for a Street Profits versus DIY SmackDown match, but like that's like the only thing advertised right now.
Oh, weird.
Which I'm like, that's not going to be the best. I think also Mello and Miz are going to have a tag team match, which people are kind of fantasy booking of like, oh, Mello's going to turn on Miz, but I'm like, that doesn't really make sense of a face to do that. I can see maybe Miz turning on Mello, because at this point in Miz's career, I know he's a heel, but like he's still kind of like a goofy heel. Where I don't see Mello, beating down the Miz.
No,
would make Mello a face. I just kind of I can see the Miz then turning on Mello and that being the face turn.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So,
but given that will be probably a cool moment. Mello, hometown Boston. I'm going to scream my face off for him, but. Other than that, I'm like, it's not looking like a D show.
Well, if this gives you any hope, event information on the TD Garden website, which take that for a grain of salt, because sometimes it's not always whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Featuring undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes.
Okay, thank God.
Randy Orton.
Oh, nice.
LA Knight.
Oh, cool.
Street Profits.
Nice.
Jade Cargill. Tiffany Stratton. Awesome. Jacob Fatu.
All right.
Sol Sikoa.
We're going to have a good show. All right.
Plus, from Monday Night Raw, the War Raiders versus the New Day. And Penta versus Bronson Reed. On this what are you asking?
Because this is Monday Night Raw.
But like War Raiders and New Day are from Raw.
Oh,
so they're coming over to SmackDown.
Oh,
to
okay.
Wrestle.
Oh, we're gonna have a grand old time. Let's go.
Yeah, I think you're in. You probably won't get Cena.
Yeah.
Especially because he did put out his like list of dates and like, but
don't think he's advertised.
I think you're in for
hopefully,
a fine
I'm
show.
hoping that's on purpose, because then to eventually say, oh, my last match. Oh yeah, it's in Boston, Massachusetts at the TD Bank North Garden. So
right. This Friday, huh?
Oh yeah, this Friday.
Could be a. I spent a lot of money on. At SummerSlam,
and there's more shows to come of wrestling with variety. So maybe think about that too. But also, hey,
what?
About a bunch of TNA shows, Heat Wave, and then of course,
when are those? Because
October.
I want to go to the TNA show.
Yeah.
I'm finally missing out on the NXT one. I want to go to the TNA show.
True. If you don't go to SmackDown on Friday, you should go to Kulon, the Asian Kowloon, the Asian restaurant.
Whoa!
R-Truth
butchered that. Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm not in my bag with the restaurants. I've never been there before too, but I know it's a very famous location.
It's also one of those things like if you never say it out loud, it's like
I'm also famously not good at saying stuff and words. But live performing music is Ron Killings. Killings.
Wait, when were I thought the Hardys were
there a few weeks later when TNA's in town. But Ron Killings performing stuff off his album at the restaurant, so that might be the spy afterwards.
Whoa, the after party. That's crazy.
With the truth.
Wow. Yeah, I might have to.
What are tickets looking like? Is that $62?
Yeah,
that's not bad
for the nosebleeds, which is fine. I might look on like StubHub like day of, see if I can just like sneak my way into. You know what I mean?
My brother bought the tickets. He said we're sitting by the stage.
So, you mean like stay? Are you up here? You kind of like where do you think you are?
We might be like right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, kind of like closer to the stage. Very similar to the SmackDown I went to in 2006.
Okay.
Where I felt the heat from the Legion of Doom, the Heidenreich and Animal, not the actual Legion of Doom, but
this might be something to look at. We'll see. Maybe make a vlog or something. Who knows? Do something with it. Anyway,
I'm gonna start the loudest "We Want Kross" chant, and you're gonna be streaming, and you're gonna be like, "God damn it, Jimmy!"
I think I hear Jimmy from section 105. Is that Jimmy up in the 300s? That's crazy. You want to talk about John Cena and Truth segment?
Oh man, okay. So this to me really brought back the reality of the situation, which like again I got completely distracted with the Cena face turn, which was. A very good promo, but was the day or 2 days before their match at Cody and Cena's at SummerSlam, which even leading up to that match and during that match, I'm thinking, was John Cena pulling our leg? Was John Cena lying to us? But then everything happened that happened, and the dust has settled, and Cena has now completely come back to the light side, which I do like, although no payoff for this heel turn. Yeah. And then, so that kind of bothers me. That's been in the back of my mind. And then they do this segment on SmackDown, which then completely also then turns Ron Killings and it completely negates his character work and his big moments of the last few months and momentum of like, oh, I'm the serious guy. I'm driving now. Cut his dreads, all this stuff. And then it kind of also coincides with the whole Karrion Kross fandom thing of we want Truth, we want Kross. And then, because again, Truth got back. Did a little bit of something and then kind of went to the wayside, and no one's been saying, "Oh,
hearing a whole lot of where's Truth chants or whatever." Yep.
But then to see this segment and they completely just have Truth go back to the comedy character, and then even Cena doing the whole spiel of like kind of like gaslighting him, being like, "Oh, that was you that did all that stuff," which like was funny. I get it, but really was a slap in the face to me, in my opinion, of like that heel turn for the 5 months was just a joke.
Sure.
I mean, there was moments I liked of it, and like I'll never forget the promo in Brussels with the little kid.
Yeah.
I think some really good matches in moments. But some of the cliches of a heel in ring stuff of the belts kind of got tiresome. But overall, I did enjoy it. But then the fact that we got no payoff, no gear change, no music change, I'm kind of looking at the whole big picture of it, and it's kind of infuriating to me. And now we have Cena as a face, which is great. But now he's picking opponents like Logan Paul, like Brock Lesnar. And I'm kind of going back to where my feelings towards John before he turned heel of like, you're kind of pissing me off, John Cena, with this whole retirement tour of you saying you're going to retire and then not showing up all the time. But he's been showing up, and he's done, I think, a really good job, as good of a job as he could have. And the way he phrased down SmackDown of like 2 weeks ago before SummerSlam of like, oh, it was shocking TV, and I fell for false glory, all that stuff. Yep. I just don't think that's enough for me. But at the same time, I'm just like trying not to be super negative critical, but because I love John Cena, but at the same time, like that really pissed me the F off.
So to counter, not counter, but to the other side of the coin to you, I guess, I loved it. I loved this segment, and I don't even think I loved it for like correct reasons, because I see where you're coming from, and I think a lot of your reasons are why I almost like it. So like, was it lazy? Yeah, 1,000,000% it's lazy. As someone who has defended the heel turn, and I think there was a lot of like good and interest in it, and I do think it was a lot of The Rock, Travis Scott, and just writing's fault, and I would maybe even say TKO's fault, because we know, and granted, not to speak on, I don't know who's making decisions or whatever, but I can at least speak to what the trajectory has been for WWE since with TKO. And WWE's always loved their moments, but it just seems a little bit that they really like their moments, their viral moments, a little bit more since being with TKO. I don't know if that's off base to say. I don't even know if that matters. Point being is, I fully see and don't even disagree with everything you're saying. I do think it was a cop-out move to do just like that that segment with Truth. It does suck. The Truth stuff I am less on about, because like they haven't been using him anyway. So if they were using Ron Killings like way more, and they did like the switch or whatever, where it's still 100% agree with you. It still sucks that this next time we see Ron Killings R-Truth on screen, he's reverted back. Like, it doesn't make sense. It sucks. But what I like about it is I almost respect them them basically just admitting, because WWE barely admits anything, them almost admitting like, hey, woof, we fucked that up. We're not even confident to book our way out of it, to write our way out of it, to make this make sense. We are hitting the hard reset and making a joke about it and a wink to the camera, which I fully agree. I see why the wink to the camera could be infuriating.
Vince Russo WCW to me, man. It's like I immediately had that thought during Cena's promo, like, am I being like, what's going on here? What universe am I in?
I think I just bought into and call me getting sold by the WWE. You know what I mean? Like I think I just bought into how silly it was, and how just like I almost appreciate them being like, hey, like this heel turn isn't working. We have a handful of months left. Here's us trying to salvage it, which granted, I don't know how good of a job salvaging it is by doing the Logan Paul match, but the sentiment to me seemed like nothing has worked. The writing fucked up. The Rock and Travis Scott, I think, were the biggest detriments to this heel turn.
Yes, for sure.
I don't think it was anything to do with Cena. I think Cena was good in his promos and whatever. The in-ring wasn't as good of him working as a heel. But I liked almost all the promos. Sure, they did get a little repetitive at the time.
And people still cheered for him, so it was like kind of like, oh, it's not that effective.
And I do agree with you that I do think they should, if they wanted to, which I guess, again, I think it goes to the writing. I don't know whose decision it was, but they should have, if they wanted to go fully, like I think is the problem with it too, and the part I can't defend is they half-assed it, with just they didn't change his attire. He was still wearing bright colors. He had the same theme song. The only thing they changed was like the Titantron or whatever. So yeah, 100%. Like they if they wanted to fully go into it, they could have helped themselves a little more. And I think if John Cena was given better opportunities, he could have done, if he was just given better stuff by everyone else, in terms of writing and people's involved, it would have been better. But yeah, I fully agree. This R-Truth segment was just lazy or whatever, but and even him just being I like that it almost, and it did have to revert R-Truth back to the old R-Truth, but I like that for years R-Truth was trying to be John Cena, and then R-Truth playing on John Cena playing on R-Truth's silliness and aloofness of being hey, that was crazy what you did, almost blaming the heel turn on Truth, and it almost being that was R-Truth play, and this is all so fantasy, but that was R-Truth playing John Cena. Now the real John Cena is back, and John Cena is now playing John Cena. I'm fully aware that none of that makes sense, and it's all fantasy. But to me, I got hooked on the silliness of it, and I'm fine. But like I said, I don't disagree with most of what you're saying, and I understand why you wouldn't love it. You know what I mean?
And kind of thought about this too, of John Cena, the sudden face turn right before the SummerSlam match. Kind of, I don't want to say cucked, but like you said, you were live there at SummerSlam, you were there for the match, and you were kind of surprised about the amount of boos that Cody got, which
big time.
Do you think those boos would have been there if he was still heel Cena?
Yes, but I do feel like him being face Cena made them louder and more. But I think they would have been there. But yeah, I think because now if you have face Cena, then it doesn't matter who the other person is. Cody is the biggest babyface in the world, but you're going up against face Cena. So whoever you're going against might not necessarily be a heel, but you're the enemy. You're who everyone wants to be beat. So yeah, I think there's validity in that.
I kind of almost felt for Cody in that moment. It's this is his big getting the ball back, his second WWE Championship reign, and here he is getting loud boos in SummerSlam. But given he's facing John Cena, which even if he was a heel, I think you're right, he would have probably faced a bunch of that in the East Coast in New York anyway. So, but I thought maybe you could have maybe held off the face turn for Cena post a match.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I think we were even talking about it where I was, up until that Friday, I was pretty convinced that he was going to do it. We were going to see a turn in the ring or post-match because they still hugged and everything. Post-match, they could have done the face turn post-match and then done that John Cena coming out to be hey, listen, that match we had, Cody Rhodes made me realize that I shouldn't be a heel or, whatever. Yeah, definitely jarring, which again, and I think I'm just a sucker for just weirdness and stuff that doesn't make sense. Cause that John Cena promo is one of my favorite in recent memories because of how weird and jarring it was. You know what I mean? So that, I think there's a lot of that why I like it. But yeah, let's, I'm ready to move on if you are.
Oh yeah.
We have a big match announced for Clash in Paris, something that I didn't see coming at all, for the world title. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Jay Uso. Clash in Paris. World Heavyweight Championship on the line. This is gonna rock.
Oh yeah, I am a slut for triple threat matches. I'm a slut for fatal four matches. I even like the championship scramble. Bring that back at some point, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, multi-man match with a bunch of megastars. Clash of Paris. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very confident Rollins will probably retain. There'll be shenanigans.
Me too.
But last night's Raw I think was a lot of fun. The repetitive DQ finishes is getting on my nerves a little bit. But again, it's TV, whatever. But yeah, looking at this match going forward the next few weeks of TV programming, and then the ending of Raw where they kind of take care of the Vision, whatever, they clear out the ring, and then Punk and Knight start going at it. I think that is the feud that I kind of want to see. I actually wanted to see that last night on Raw 1-on-1.
I thought that's what they were doing.
So I was kind of now we're getting this Fatal 4-Way match with all these megastars. I love it, but I'd love to see a 1-on-1 match with Punk and Knight leading up to this match. And hey, Pepsi, maybe let the kid go over. I don't know. I mean, although. One's 47, one's 40, and they're combined over 100 years old apparently.
So fucking funny. I want to believe because he did that off mic. I want to believe he just did that unprompted. It's hey, I'm young. You guys are old. You're 47. You're 40. Together, that adds up to 100.
I'm not arguing that at all. I'm not going to tell him that
good.
he's 13 off. I'm not telling him that, but
It's close enough.
Yeah, it's
you round up.
Yeah, over 100 years old. I need the "You're 47" on a T-shirt. That's so funny. Braun Breaker,
God,
main event of
so
WrestleMania,
good.
like Paul Heyman said, and then even to like the difference of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed of like, oh yeah, you're the you're the multi-main event WrestleMania main eventer, and you're the guy who steals shoes. The Shulafala is a hilarious nickname moniker.
Shulafala, I think he's really doubling down on tribal thief.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So like, though it's kind of more silly and goofier, and you do look at the side-by-side comparison of those two monikers, nicknames, whatever you want to call it, it is kind of funny.
Sure.
But it also makes me like Bronson Reed a lot more, though. Although it's like, I kind of don't love him.
To him.
He does have something to him. I don't love like no, that's a kind of a tough thing, but like it is kind of leaning towards comedy a bit, which concerns me.
Sure.
But again, I can easily, get lost in him being a monster at any given point, because that tsunami is devastating and he is an imposing figure. So as long as he keeps stealing shoes and then starts winning matches, I'm all for it.
They've only been Jordans so far.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm curious if he's gonna be interested in like any Adidas or any, you know what I mean?
Dude, Roman Reigns' feet is not that big. You're kidding me? Those shoes look like Shaquille.
You don't think so?
Those shoes.
Oh, I bet she's got massive feet. Oh, I bet she's got massive feet.
Well, you know what they say, but like
massive cock.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, I don't know. Those shoes look like they should be Shaquille O'Neal shoes. I think Roman Reigns is over exaggerating his shoe size for the cameras, in my opinion. I would love to see Roman Reigns' feet. So Roman Reigns, if you can show us your feet, you should do that.
There's a website for that. There is a website. It's called. I only know this from podcasts. It's called a website called feetfinder.com.
Oh my God.
And
really?
it's you type in like any celebrity, and apparently it sounds very sus, but like I don't frequent this website. I just know about it. But like there's like celebrities that like people who are into feet will like collect their pictures or their feet are shown and put it on the site, and people like rate them. So like different celebrities, it's very similar to like an IMDb. Celebrities have like feet ratings.
Wow.
Yeah, let's look it up. Give me a celebrity.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Whoa, okay. Wait, is this it? Maybe this isn't what I was looking for.
Your laptop's about to be
what is
absolutely
this?
trash.
Oh, view by feet. Do I have to pay for? I have to sign in. I'm not fucking signing in.
That's fine. I can do research in my own time.
But I feel maybe that's a different.
What are your thoughts on feet?
We don't have to get. Not necessarily a feet guy personally.
Yeah, me neither.
But this is crazy. Yeah, this looks like a sketch website. Wow.
Shout out Jersey Jerry. He's a big foot guy.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, it's fine.
We'll get out of this territory. But to wrap up, we have a couple more things to touch on. But to wrap up this segment or this portion, this match is gonna rock.
Yes.
I love the ending segment with like Seth Rollins just stomping everyone. They were fucking not to get all horned up again here, but they had they're hooking. You know what hooking is? They're hooking our boy CM Punk.
What's that mean?
It's the old like finger thumb in the mouth. You know when they were like they had like a fish hook.
Okay, literally hooking.
You know what I mean? Hooking.
Yeah.
I guess there's other definitions of hooking as well, but they had Punk by the fucking mouth, and just Seth Rollins again. As long as I stand, you'll never be world champion. Stomping the shit out of everyone. What's that like meme of like the dragons where like they're all like fierce looking, and the one silly one.
Yep.
And I'm a Jey Uso fan.
Yeah.
Jey Uso kind of seems like the odd man out here.
A little bit.
Because when Adam Pearce was announcing this, amazing shot, great camera work, where Seth Rollins was hearing the names and hears Jey Uso. He goes, all right, I know Jey Uso. He goes, and LA Knight. He goes, oh, okay, 3 people, a little much.
I lost
to
him, yeah.
He was like, okay, yeah, right. I did lose to him, okay. Seth Rollins. Ah, damn it. I knew you were getting
CM
there.
Punk.
Ah, shit. What did I say? CM Punk. CM Punk. Ah, shit. Oh, no. I wish you wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match is gonna rock. I'm excited for it. Predictions will come out obviously the week before, but as of now, I do also see Seth.
Can we do a different type of prediction? Because we've seen, I'm not sure if you've seen him. I'm sure you have. Roman Reigns on the poster of Clash of Paris, kind of the Starry Night type thing.
Sure.
Who is he going against that Clash of Paris if he's on the poster.
This isn't my original thought, but I think I agree with it because I've been seeing some people. People are thinking Roman, maybe Roman Braun. Yeah, Roman Braun. However, might also be Roman Bronson Reed, which they might be teasing the Braun Breaker match.
But that makes sense because Bronson
the shoes.
has
So
been
it's probably
going to
be Bronson Reed. Probably going to be Bronson Reed.
Oh,
yeah.
That's less exciting, but I mean,
less exciting, but we're getting there. That means we're getting there. We're one step closer.
Call me crazy. I might try to book some shenanigans to get Bronson Reed a win over the Tribal Chief. That would do wonders for Bronson Reed, wouldn't it?
It would.
What did Roman Reigns have to gain for beating old Bronson?
His shoes back. His shoes back. Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be exciting, though.
People are hating on these graphics for some reason. There's the best graphics they've had in a long time.
It's creative. It's
yeah.
I mean, some people throwing out AI. I don't know if that's for sure. It's really hard to tell these days.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I don't know if it's AI either.
I'll give that.
If it's AI, it sucks.
Yes.
But I like the creativity of it. I like they're playing on, which I'd imagine the Starry Night and Van Gogh paintings are probably in the Louvre, which is in Paris. It's known for its art culture. Van Gogh, not French, I don't think. I actually don't know. I'm kind of just saying that.
There was a big thread of like people, this one particular content creator kind of tearing it to pieces of like,
really?
Oh, that was in North France, and like North France is totally different from South France, and like that's like saying something that's in Canada is also tied to United States, something like that. I'm like, all right, dude, I don't know. I think it's a nice graphic.
Good graphics.
Yeah,
they're creative.
It's different. Like God forbid they do something different.
Exactly. And I don't think they're the best in the world, but like we're so used to like just like someone. I mean, granted, it is still faces on a poster, but like no art style. There hasn't been really art style for a while, and like we got it.
I mean, what they pulled out for SummerSlam was a bit tough.
Sorry, this isn't going to make any sense to like the viewers, but like someone posted a fan made Clash in Paris one. Of just like, granted, they substitute Roman Reigns and Jey Uso out, but it's like it's very gray. It's almost like Assassin's Creed sort of looking, very very gray and bronze and whatever, dark looking. It looks fine. And then in comparison, this really colorful Starry Night one, and the comment is like, here the one we won versus the one we got, and it's like, fuck you complain. This looks good. This looks way better than the shitty gray one. What are you talking about?
To also add to the chronically online part, there's another one that was just Roman. That's very like HD.
Yes,
his eyes are red. That. And then compared to the one that we got for Roman, is kind of yeah. I can see the kind of bitching about that a little bit. But again, it's
come on. I saw a reply to that, and someone just quote tweeted it with I think it was the Randy Orton Backlash poster. It was just that.
It was literally that.
It was just that.
Okay.
And that, it's like, those posters kind of suck. I
not
just don't
so
know
creative
why.
after all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not so creative after all. Huh.
All right, we'll go on to, we have a couple last things before the show ends. Io Sky, the focal point of last night's Raw. A lot of stuff backstage, kind of run through the beats and we'll talk about it, but backstage going into her match with well, first of all, she said she wanted the match with Roxanne, which is what I love about Io. Io just wants to wrestle. Io loves wrestling. So she's like, hey, me and Roxanne, we're gonna go at it. Had a great match. I loved their match. We'll talk about it maybe a little more in detail, but before the match, kind of brushed off damage control, not in like a rude way, just kind of, hey, I'm Io fucking Sky. Don't need you to, but I appreciate it. Asuka, Kairi didn't listen, got involved, ended up kind of costing Io the match, the distraction. Then backstage, we got a little bit of altercation, them getting in their faces. Asuka shoving Io, putting poor Kairi Sane, best spear in the business, putting poor Kairi Sane in the middle of it, needing to choose. She ends up going with Asuka. Io looking heartbroken, distraught. She can't trust anyone. And then we get Rhea Ripley on screen. And I think you tweeted this as well. Massive fucking pop.
Broke my TV.
Massive
Broke my television.
Pop.
My speaker is like not working fully now.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was
not
joke.
a bit. Not
really?
a bit.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No. Like I was trying to adjust the volume the rest of the time.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
wow.
It sucks.
That's the power of mommy. And then, Rhea's like, hey, listen, like maybe those aren't your friends, maybe whatever. And Io's just like, Io's loyal. But Io's like, I don't know who to trust right now. This shit doesn't make sense. And Rhea's looking also kind of distraught for Io. I love all of this as much as I am distraught over damage control or I guess not Damage Control anymore, but like the Damage Control girlies, my fucking goats of Asuka and Kairi and Io being mad at each other. Oh, I hate to see it, but whatever this leads to, Asuka versus Io, get Kairi Sane involved. This, whatever it ends up being, is gonna fucking rock.
Absolutely.
Talk to me. I don't know if you want to go to like to the match or just the storyline.
Some things you missed. I want to say get well soon to my queen Naomi, who helped me retain the predictions championship.
Yes.
This was supposed to be a title match, which like, I was really excited for that. But then like you said, Io Sky, the fighting warrior she is, wanted the match still. Something about impromptu matches with women with brunette, darker hair, with her and Stephanie. Impromptu, like you said, always wants to wrestle and puts on bangers. It rocks. And then before Mommy showed up, they also teased her and Stephanie. Which was like kind of interesting.
So to me, they didn't tease. I kind of didn't get what it was, and I could still be out. So to me, what it was, I mean, I'm sure it was also a tease of Io, because if Io won the title match, then that would have been the Clash in Paris. But I think also that was Stephanie was like, hey, I'm just disappointed as you are, because I kind of forgot that like, the match on at Clash is Naomi Stephanie for the title.
Yes. So as of now,
right? Yeah. So Stephanie, and especially too, because like we don't know who would have won on Raw. So yeah, I think a lot of that too is also Stephanie being like, hey, like I could have faced you regardless. My title match is just as in jeopardy as yours is. Like, what the hell?
Because I think both their matches, Stephanie and Io's, went to DQs. I don't think they've had a legit finish for both those matches.
Sounds right.
So like, I think that they should probably somehow still try to do that at Clash of Paris, but that's just me.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm glad you brought up Naomi. So that kind of slipped my mind. But yeah, I don't know what the word is on Naomi. Again, is it a work? Is it a legit injury?
They told us to check the social medias for news, which like I've been refreshing for all day and still nothing about Naomi. But I hope she's okay.
Yeah, obviously, I hope for the best. Hope for a speedy recovery. Hopefully, it's not too serious.
I hope it's not the scooter. She's on that scooter. Oh, she already cashed in, so she doesn't have that money. It was the Money in the Bank briefcase scooter, right? So yeah, she doesn't have that scooter no more. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people are thinking, it might. I don't know. I don't know what the speculation. There's a lot of speculation about a bunch of different stuff, which is a nothing sentence. But I don't know. So like the match in Clash might be up in the air depending on the injury. I haven't. I'm gonna look on Twitter right now, see if there's any updates. But,
too. Thinking back of that segment, it was like the damage control girlies kind of confronting whatever.
Yep.
And then the segment continues, and then in comes Stephanie, and then right after in comes Rhea. Were they just like waiting on the side to interact? Like
right.
Wrestling is so funny sometimes, but when you think about it like that, but any news on our friend?
I'm not seeing anything.
That scooter.
Oh, the scooter.
So I was kind of concerned that maybe she fell off the scooter, but
okay, wait a minute. From Wrestle Purist, Naomi was backstage WWE Raw in Quebec earlier in the day, so her match being pulled was not a case of her not making it to the. Oh, it's okay. Whatever the reason was, it was very much kept quiet from other talents. So she was there, but again, that doesn't have anything to do with like the injury.
You know what it is? Hates Canadians.
Maybe she hates Canadians.
Didn't want to perform in front of Canadians.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so hopefully the best for her. So obviously that's a big match at Clash and was a big match for Raw.
Match ruled, man. Really good match between Roxanne.
Really good.
And Io.
Yeah,
really back and forth.
Scary moonsault spot though.
That was tough.
That shit looked great. To me, that looked like I think they knew the knees were going up, both of them. But to me, I think maybe Roxanne thought she was gonna take like the knees to the stomach.
Yeah.
And I think Io might have thought she was gonna do the old like the knees are up, but she like does the full moonsault, lands on her feet, but, like takes it to the head, to the face. That's what it looked like to me. And it was a little miscommunication. Ended up with Io maybe kind of over rotating and not going as far to clear Roxanne. That's what it looked like to me. That's just me watching it. Could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, like that's the one blemish people are gonna say, oh, Io Sky's the GOAT. Well, look at this. Other than that, dude, they fucking went. And credit to Roxanne too. I know I'm gonna be talking up Io, but like Roxanne is also one of the best.
Absolutely.
And in there with the fucking GOAT. And I saw some some chats when I was on stream. And I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, not to be the Io Sky person, but Io Sky is in the conversation for best in the world, men or women. Like she is, it's to me right now, it's her and Will Ospreay are the two just like most talented wrestlers on the planet. And I think they're gonna have that match someday.
I would not be against it for sure. Absolutely.
But yeah, overall, so yeah, what are you thinking in terms of
moving forward?
Yeah, in terms of like, do we think Asuka Io is, think that we're waiting until maybe like a Royal Rumble or even like a, build all the way up to next year's WrestleMania, which is a little far away. What do we think is going to happen?
Well, I first have to shout out, Roxanne. Like that was a great performance of her. And I'm not saying I'm a Roxanne doubter, but this was for me a big coming out of like ensuring me as a fan that she is like the future of this division and something that she can always tote over mommy if they ever start feuding. I beat Io Sky. Have you? Oh, you haven't. That's a huge accomplishment beating Io Sky, given it was a little bit shenanigans with the damage control girlies, but I think what we're going to end up having is a Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley.
Right.
I think we're getting that tag team.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was kind of the seeds, right? Of like Rhea kind of being like, no, I'm your friend, and
Io kind of getting a big head a little bit. First saying no to Asuka. Well, fair enough. I mean, if you're the GOAT, you're the GOAT. But kind of saying, I don't need you to even the odds in my match against Roxanne, Asuka, and Kairi, and then Rhea Ripley's just trying to give a helping hand, letting you know, hey. I can also back you up this and that. And she goes, no, don't need your help, whatever. I think Io is going to eventually realize she's going to need some help against Asuka and Kairi Sane, especially if they get into an aggressive combating battle.
It's lonely at the top.
But it's
lonely at the top.
It is lonely at the top. Maybe at Clash of Perry we get...
I would love that tag match.
That tag match would rule. That tag match would rule. Maybe, though, they also throw in the women's tag team champions in a three-way.
Ooh.
That could be fun. I think maybe that'd be a good defense for Charlotte and Alexa too, because then you have two teams that are kind of focused on each other. And then I don't
know how in the world you're gonna get to that, but like it makes sense for
the tag titles float.
No, for sure. I'm not my problem. Believe me, my problem is not Raw and SmackDown wrestlers intermingling. That is not. I'm just kind of curious.
Although, did you see Adam Pearce yelling at Nick Aldis on the phone about the MFT showing up? So maybe there's going to be.
We can even talk about that. I want to talk about that during Sammy. I forgot.
Oh yeah, falling into the bloodline vortex.
My only point is that it was the only discussion I really had on that is just like okay, I guess we're doing. More MFT. God, I don't like that.
Kind of an addition to kind of why maybe Sammy is looked at a bit of like, oh, we're really doing this again with falling back into bloodline stuff. It's like
and it's just like bloodline 4.0 at this point.
With Tall Tonga.
I don't know. I do before we go, the show is almost over. We're gonna head over to the Patreon, which I did not plug at the beginning, but patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. Please, wow, we didn't do any plugs at the beginning. Oops.
We could always do a preamble, maybe record something else before it. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think we did that last week and I was editing. I'm kidding. Head to Patreon. We're gonna chat for another hour. We're gonna take your questions, and I'm sure we got a lot to chat about. I haven't looked at the questions for Patreon, but so I'm sure we got a lot of them. But
what's your favorite spear?
But I do want to touch on TripleMania happening this Friday for free on YouTube.com. The card looks banging, baby. So we have Natty Neidhart in a triple threat match for the AAA. Gonna pronounce this wrong, but some sort of AAA championship. Dr. Wagner Jr. is also in action again. What else we got? We got Psycho Clown going up with Pagano versus Los Garzas for those tag titles. We got Judgment Day of Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Raquel Rodriguez versus Mr. Iguana, Nino Hamburguesa, and Lola Vice. And then the main event, which I didn't know was a fatal four-way match until last night. I was going to pronounce their whole name, but I'm not going to take a stab at it. Vikingo.
True.
Versus Dominic Mysterio, the king of the luchadors, versus Dragon Lee versus El Grande Ludwig Kaiser for the AAA Mega Championship. Now, we don't have to go too deep into this, but I think Dom's walking out with that title. I love Vikingo. I feel like he just got it, which there's been a little time, but especially if Dom dons like that fucking mask that he wears. I think strike when the iron's hot. King of the Luchadors. I think he should get the Mega Championship. What are you thinking?
I think a lot of people have that same thinking. I love it too. I'm a big Dom supporter, and I get it. But something tells me I think El Grande Americano is still undefeated.
There's no way.
I think he's never lost before. So I think
that's probably true.
And I think the headlines and the heat that would generate from El Grande Americano, and then you can go to the Severance storyline again, where Chad comes back and he's like, "Wait, I'm El Grande Americano. I'm the AAA Mega Champion." I don't know.
This lucha shit means something to me. This shit means
it means something to a lot of people, and that's why it's going to be very contentious and very controversial when El Grande Americano walks out. Your new triple. Hey, why is he in the match? I don't know.
Why is Dragon Lee in the match?
Yeah, he's been featured on Raw though. He's been doing some good stuff. He's okay. He's a good wrestler.
No, Dragon Lee's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. I would be shocked if El Grande wins.
You would be shocked.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be shocked. Yeah.
I just really hope they don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You know who's on commentary for this?
JBL and Corey. Yeah.
Imagine JBL marking out for El Grande.
Dude, JBL calling TripleMania is so fucking sick.
I can't wait for that. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna watch that show.
Yeah, if I'm it is Friday night, isn't it?
Saturday night.
Oh, it's Saturday. Did I say Friday? I might have said Friday by accident. Okay. It is Saturday night. Mm-hmm. I think it's 9 p.m. our time, might be 8 p.m. our time. Not totally sure, but I could see a little stream for TripleMania happening on the the individual channels or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, not to put words in your mouth, but I would.
We'll see.
I'll probably stream if I'm watching. I'll probably stream it. We'll see. I don't know what's going on with me this weekend.
Also, cool to see Natty on the card. Last night, kudos to Maxine Dupree.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about it. Yeah,
it was a 5-minute match, but it was good.
I love Maxine Dupree.
She made the John Moonsault thumbnail, so shout out Maxine Dupree for that accomplishment. Looking good as always. 5-minute kind of, I wouldn't say squash match. Got a little bit of something in there, but like Becky Lynch is always gonna beat you for the defender IC title, and then Natty gets pushed afterwards.
Yep.
Which give me Bloodsport Natty right now and Becky Lynch.
That'd be awesome. I'm thinking we're going to Becky, Natty, and Clash for the title. And I'm fully with you. Leaning on Natty Neidhart.
It's awesome.
She's so badass. She's so sick. And I love, I think they did it perfectly. We're like, sure, everyone going into this was like, Maxine's going to lose. Maxine's not going to win. But they got me in terms of just like me loving Maxine so much. And it's like letting go and giving in of like, fuck it. I'm going to root for Maxine.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to root for Maxine. I love Maxine. It's who I want to win. Enough of this wrestler podcaster bullshit. I'm going to root for who I want and not try to think 10 steps ahead and da-da-da. I was fully invested. I think they had the crowd too. And Maxine got some really good spots in there. Natty calling from like the side, being like, hit her harder, hit her this, and da-da-da.
It was nice. She's improving, and I think I like the direction they're going with Natty kind of coaching her. I think that it has a lot of potential.
And she had a couple for lack of a better phrase, like hulking up spots. She was like, ugh. I really wanted like the strap down, sort of like, ugh. The straps aren't connected to her top. Okay. Is what you're thinking. The straps are separate. The straps are not connected to her top.
Fair. Okay.
She's done the strap thing before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Kurt Angle. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Braun Breaker, but the putting back on.
So good.
So good. I hear what you're saying. Oh yeah.
But I loved it. Again, and it kind of goes to what you were saying of like, sure, Maxine Dupree, not the most, she's improved, like it's night and day. She's improved a ton. She's continuously improving. I think she's still going to be a star in the division. She has a lot of potential, but to you, it goes like it's a full circle podcast here where it goes to like, Karrion Kross talks where it's like, I can fully get into a wrestler who might not be putting on 5-star classics, but is way more,
character.
It goes to like, not that I'm comparing Maxine Dupree and Karrion Kross to The Rock, but The Rock has famously, in ring was always his third best thing that he did, right? Yeah. It was always like his character and his mic skills and whatever. So yeah, it's not the craziest thing in the world to be like, sure, this person's not the greatest wrestler, but like everything else is like, there. And I can fully get behind that. It's kind of where I was at.
I know we're trying to keep the pot a bit low, but what about that Bayley promo last night? That was weird and made me uncomfortable and like, whoa, where's she going? I think she's about to lose it. I think she's about to go nutty. She did say, what was her catchphrase when she was a heel a few years ago?
Ding dong.
Ding dong. That was kind of more of a silly persona. I think this might be like a Joker Bayley. This might be, I would say a serious ding dong. This might be like a Joker kind of losing her ish Bayley that's like just finally fed up
Yep.
Or maybe the return of the wacky inflatable arm flailing two men, which I wouldn't hate either.
And they're all like dark and scary. No, I loved it. And that kind of sold it at the end where they did like the camera work or the editing work where they did like the out of focus sort of like thing. And it seems like she's snapping. I love that. And it's a little bit of realism where she's like, and maybe like this touches all the way back to my point of like, like wrestlers, it's a job and like whatever. But to the point of like, yeah, these wrestlers do want to accomplish big things and be prominent and whatever.
Was off WrestleMania, was off SummerSlam.
Was off all these matches, got pushed off of things, have been pushed to the side. Oftentimes, is being called like the fourth best horsewoman. So like the fact that she's like, all this work, all this stuff, I have nothing to prove for it. I'm sick of it. And I feel bad about myself. And I basically I hate myself. My career's been shit, and you know what? Which I don't believe all that, but all that to say, like, I'm coming back. Fuck this. So like, yeah, I love whatever this is.
Has
I'm
legs.
Fully on board. It has
yeah.
legs. I think Bayley's been due for a character change, and I think this maybe self-aware Bayley is really, really cool, and there's a lot of story to tell. And they kind of cut to Lyra afterward, and Lyra's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, she's been losing matches. She also accidentally cost Lyra the match. She definitely didn't do that on purpose, but helped Becky retain. So she's just like kind of taking L's all over the place the last year or so. That's going to lead up to this kind of doom and gloom character. I'm looking forward. That promo was like, it was cool. I felt weird.
I thought it was a clip from WWE Unreal, and I was like, oh, is it because they play clips like they showed Bianca like making her attire, which was really sick.
It was like a confessional.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this? No, it was. I'm glad you mentioned that because it was great. All right, with that said, that is the show. We are going to head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We have a bunch of your Q's, and we're going to give you some A's over there. So if you want some A's, head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for $5 a month. You get all that. You get some bonus content. Also, the uncut Wrestling Society X episodes we've done are up on there. And, yeah, kind of an ever-growing thing. So
get your B's over there to answer your Q's, and we'll give you the A's. And if you don't do that, you can S my C.
Whoa. S my C. I've never heard S my C before. Folks, thank you for being here. We appreciate the support as always. Appreciate you listening. And we'll see you over on the Patreon, and we'll see you next time. And we'll see you on the channel all week. Bye-bye. Peace. I've been saying Clash at Paris, Clash in Paris. I don't know.
Clash of the Paris.
I gotta die on the hill of Jeff Hardy having the best swanton. Tiffany's is elegant, and Kevin Owens is well executed as well, but nostalgia for Jeff can't be beat for me.
I get down to brass tacks with him. I'd say, what was your role in the burial of Mr. Kennedy and Alex Riley?
But like Achievement Hunter, I think was watched by a lot of like kids and teenagers, where Funhouse's demographic was a little bit older.
I know, you were very quick to say, I'm not going to war with you, Jimmy. I'm glad the goblins are getting you too.